Originally, I was going to make a video about something totally different, which I'll talk about later on in this video, but this recent Nux Taku situation was just too weird to pass up. This isn't a family show, but it is a Christian show. So, just to tell you guys, so you won't be surprised, that there'll be some cursing and other types of language that might be inappropriate, uh, like certain sexual type of language, things of that nature. And I will be making some jokes and memes that are kind of meta in a sense, meaning I kinda mean them, but maybe not. Not all the time, obviously, because I do want. This is somewhat serious in a sense of a way. How serious is it? Well, just continue watching, folks. So if you don't know me that much, I'll try to clarify as much as possible. But for those who do know me, you kind of know where I stand on a lot of what we're going to talk about anyways. I'll still clarify them in there. Also, my name's JTF, by the way.
So apparently, Nux Taku went on to Roseanne Barr's podcast, the most anti-Semitic podcast ever, which, you know, I don't get the joke. I don't get the joke at all. They're not really, but whatever. Sure, I guess we just do that now. We just live in a world where that's okay now, I suppose. Roseanne is Jewish. She's making fun of people calling her anti-Semitic. You can have black people who are racist against black people. Uncle Ruckus wasn't just an animated character. He was a stereotype that existed. And I just did the it's not X, it's Y thing. Please fucking kill me.
Anyways, yeah, that's true. Jesse Lee, well, they're the same people if you think about it. Freudian slip, but Uncle Ruckus was not born in a vacuum. He was most likely born out of Jesse Lee Peterson, or the opposite. Anyways, it's terrible reality.
Anywho, as part
Earthlings and humans and everybody else, all other intelligent beings on Earth,
Why say Earthlings? Yes, hello, my fellow Earthlings. I am too, and also an Earthling, I guess. Alright. Not off to a really good start, but, it's off to a wild start, if you get my... You know what I'm saying?
really animals who are far more intelligent than humans, in my opinion, because animals don't need to bullshit themselves 24/7 in order to feel the joy of living. So welcome here. And Jake, what are they? Nephila?
I don't... What? She's supposed to be funny, right? Like, that's supposed to be funny? I don't get it. Humans are not as smart as animals because we are smart enough to convince ourselves of things that are bullshit? Like, what? Huh? I don't get it. I don't think anybody here gets it. Does she sounds like a robot? Yeah, she does. She sounds like somebody who does not want to be doing things on the internet now, but is having to do them because she's not relevant anywhere else anymore. At least that's what I'm getting from it.
Anunnaki,
even Amaleks, whatever you are that came here. You know you came here because, like animals, you love the timbre and whatever you call it of my voice, because you know it carries truth, unlike most other channels on YouTube and the other various social medias.
Okay, so we're already doing the self-aggrandizing bullshit. That's okay. Like, I'm sure that's endearing to somebody, but I don't know. Starting out just going, I am the one who is important and correct, and the other people are less important and correct than me, so listen to me. No, that's already stupid.
Welcome to the Roseanne Barr podcast. You know, I am so excited. I haven't been this excited about an interview, maybe in forever.
That's saddening and depressing if you really think about it, because Nux Taku's our guest. So, that's sad and depressing.
At least for a very long time. You know that I love to interview geniuses, and I have a real genius on here with me today.
Strike one. Nux Taku is not a genius. Already to a bad start, but don't worry, it gets worse.
Not only is this person a genius, but they're so intelligent and so brilliant that they are actually in anime form, which is beyond genius. And I'm so excited to have this.
I have never seen somebody desperately try to suck Nux's dick this hard, and it is very uncomfortable, let me tell you.
It really is. Like, this is YouTube. Turn it down a peg, please.
And here's the thing.
No one wants to see that.
I can't even...
At least on YouTube.
even say, like, oh, she's just trying to be funny. Because, like, it's not...
Yeah, if you don't know who Roseanne Barr is, she used to be, I think, a comedian and used to have her own sitcom called Roseanne, but she became a failed comedian and now woke, aka the right-wing version of legit woke. Video on more on that there. And video on kind of how memes work. If you don't know, now you will. Just watch that and all will be revealed, if you wills. So yeah, now she's just crazy and wild and insane and weird and broke and not funny, basically.
It's really not. It's just kind of sad. Okay. So honestly, all I'm getting is that she's being the female Shad University. Yeah.
Character, whom you might know from YouTube, Nux Taku, a genius.
Hello.
Yes, hello,
Well,
Nux.
I don't know about genius, but thank you so much for having me. It's such...
Alright. This is the very, very rare instances where I guess you can call it in the dictionary an interview, I guess, where there's an actual good point. And good point number one that you'll finally rarely see on this interview. Nux Taku is not a genius.
an honor.
It's such an honor for me to have you. I do not use the term genius lightly, and
You kind of just did, so you kind of just devalued that right then and there. Don't worry, it gets worse.
Is that bitch smoking inside? That is so fucking gross. Like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be focusing on that. Maybe that's the wrong thing to focus on. But smoking inside is goddamn disgusting.
You can't say much, at least for some of your fan base, Suris, and we'll get into that later on in this video.
Anyways, let's go back to...
I do believe you are a genius. Not only a genius in your analysis of world events, which blew my mind, because quite frankly...
If his genius is on world events, his opinions blew your mind... Oh boy, just go back to school, please, Roseanne. I know you think it's the devil, I guess, at this point. I think she's the one with the term of diminished. So, yeah, this is who we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't think anyone else was as smart as me.
Oh, don't worry, Roseanne Barr. Almost everybody's as smart as you. Apparently, except for Nux Taku, I guess you're equally in the same field. So, you know...
And you've surpassed me.
Whoa! That's crazy.
It is crazy.
It is crazy. It's quite insane. It's quite wild, if you will. Let's say it doesn't even make any sense if you think about it.
Very flattered.
It's almost impossible, and then you're much younger, which it makes me so happy. Like when I had Tal Oran on here and a couple other people, members of the tribe who actually can understand the vortex and paradox and whatever else it is we're living in as Jews upon this earth right now. A lot of people call you the blue Jew. I love that one. Do you like that?
I thought most blue Jews were against Netanyahu, so if I'm correct, Nux Taku is for Netanyahu, so that's kind of weird. And yes, I will need to explain that joke because unfortunately anti-Semites are again socially accepted and are influencers that are actually influencing people in power. So I got to explain this joke. Blue, in the context of the joke, means politically. And since I'm in America, blue politically usually is referring to a Democrat. That's usually what people would think of when you think of blue in politics. The color blue in politics, that's Democrat, you know? Or blue in a sense of ideology, political ideology, be like liberal maybe. Or especially leftist, or at least left-leaning, and Jewish people who are leftists or left-leaning, or even some who are liberals, or maybe even some who are Democrats here in America, maybe, are not they don't think of Netanyahu quite good. They don't think he's a really great guy. You know, and Nux Taku, if I'm correct, is a Zionist extremist. So that's the joke.
Yeah, and that was not coined by me. I'm one of the few blue Jews that I know of, so this is huge.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good...
Nene Goblin says, what is this about? It's Nux Taku going on Roseanne Barr's podcast. And Nux is a person that believes that he is right about most things. And so is Roseanne. So, like, I feel like they are kindred spirits here. Like, gross kindred spirits. And I want to know what the fuck is going on. But I am increasingly confused. Because I'm not getting anything from here other than aggrandizing bullshit, but like it's 3 minutes in, so whatever.
I think not only that you're a genius, but my God, you're an anti.
Why is it still happening? Why are you still doing it? Why are you still doing the genius thing? Stop. You don't have to keep doing that. Nobody's here for that. Fucking hell.
To everything of the youthful male.
No, he's a poison for the youth and the youthful male, especially the youthful males. Goodness.
Like you are the slayer of the Groypers.
I thought he was one of the messiahs for the Groypers.
Your shit is so together. I just love everything you...
Well, it is crud. And it is together. So... I guess a point and a half for that one, for something being true on this interview, if you will.
Nux is the slayer of the Groypers. Pretty sure most of the things he advocates for are also the things they would advocate for, with the exception that the Groypers are anti-Semitic. Like that's it. Like that's the delineating factor. So they did post a 10-minute segment if you don't want to be up for the whole podcast. I would love that. Please, dear God, get me out of this hell. Please, I'm begging you.
You're the actual voice of sanity of the youth in America.
No, if that's the case, then all of us are insane. Either that or he's insane. And you as well are insane, Roseanne Barr, and I think it's the latter. I think you guys are the insane ones here.
I can't believe the stuff you say. It is so brilliant. It is so...
Jesus fucking Christ! Can you stop sucking his cock, woman?
Oh,
please, we're on YouTube. Stop.
True. It is so based in fact. Congratulations, you are one of few people of your generation here in America, for God's sake.
Oh, thank you. I honestly, I don't think anyone has ever complimented me like that on YouTube. Normally,
yeah, I think it's...
There's a lot of reasons why. It's not just because of the pedo stuff.
Because it's not normal to fucking suck your dick that hard. Especially on YouTube. Calm down. Is it AI? Is this AI Roseanne? It has to be AI Roseanne, because, like, that's the only way I can see that this is happening. That's the only way I, like, the sycophantic nature of AI, how it's constantly sucks your dick. This feels like watching that, and I don't understand why any of it's necessary. It's not.
I get that Jew. He likes killing terrorists. He must be horrible, or something like that. So very appreciated.
I love how you have gone after what's his name, Piker.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
I love how you've gone after Hasan Piker.
I mean, that's not that. I mean, that's not that big of an achievement. Anybody can go after Hasan Piker for a lot of things. Like, that's not really a big achievement. You can go after Hasan Piker for almost everything he does. Like, come on, that's not really a big achievement if you think about it.
Okay. For what, the dog thing, or like for generally being a leftist? Because one of those things is A-okay and the other one has weird context around it.
For me, one of them is kind of fine. The other one is like, you could have done it better. And the third one, and the one that's more important, and the one that's the horrible one, the terrible one, the evil one, is him being a terrorist apologist.
Marco, just post it in here. Please just post it in here. I need something, anything, other than what I am listening to.
Hasan Piker
Dude,
is one of my.
Down. You brought him down.
Like, again, it's not that hard to bring down Hasan Piker. You can bring him down for a lot of things, you know. Again, not that big of an achievement if you really think about it for 2 seconds.
He's got, like, several times Nux's audience size. I don't think you brought Hasan down at all, but okay.
Okay, listen, I'm very grateful. Thank you. The truth is, no one has ruined Hasan Piker's reputation as much as Hasan Piker.
True.
Well, that is true. That is true.
So
they all
he
have
gets most of the credit.
Well, yeah, he does. But they have that circular logic like a snake eating its own tail. So pretty soon, you know, they've got a mouthful of their own ass. And they're always caught.
Look, the funny thing with Hasan particularly is if I would have to come up with like a cartoon caricature of like a supervillain, it would be a guy that abuses animals, you know, goes to brothels that have sex trafficked children, like goes to Diddy parties, shocks his dog. Like,
did Hasan go to Diddy parties? Is that?
If I'm correct, he accidentally went to a party, a very bad party, and apparently he didn't know. I guess because he is just like, famous people, I'm gonna go to that party. Because for some weird, stupid reason, he didn't verify it. And he didn't recognize the Diddy-ness of it all. Yeah, and we'll see later on in this video how that's an actually pretty good excuse. That's actually a pretty good excuse for Hasan Piker in this scenario.
Is that a thing that happened specifically? Like, is that because that one's news to me?
It was actually quite old news. It was an old drama, if I'm correct.
Also, the shock the dog. You know that, like, okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. People get way too fucking sensitive about animals, and I understand. We love our animals. They are our little fur babies. They are the best thing in the world. They make life incredibly joyous. But I'm sorry, but there are shock collars that do not use enough electricity to be considered just fucking abuse. I'm sorry.
And to give an example, I think, of what Suris is trying to convey is basically like how to ride a horse, especially if it doesn't want to move. I've run horses before, but I'm not a full expert on horses, you know, but I have rode them. I do have some experience with them. I did take a class, if you will, on them, so I kind of get horses a little bit. It's acceptable to kind of kick them when you're on them for them to move, because they're a large animal, you're a smaller animal in a sense. And so you kicking them is not actually going to be that much, but if you kick hard enough, they will move. And if I'm correct, it doesn't actually harm them. It's more of just something hit them, and they're gonna move. Basically. Or have a cowboy hat and hit them on the butt, or any type of a hat, or anything there for them to move. If I'm correct, that is the correct way for them to move. For you to move, though. Now, when it comes to the web and things of that nature, if I'm correct, you don't need to. It most likely will hurt the horse for a long period of time. It's just not the best. So, when it comes to Hasan, even if the shock collar is not dangerous or very harmful, but more just, something for it to say, oh, I need to move because something, something hit me in a sense. Not hit me, but, gotta move. I would say due to Hasan's influence and due to him also having the resources financially to either get a good size, good and good looking cage for his dog, or most likely, I don't know his house. I don't want to know his house necessarily, but I'm assuming he might have something like a yard, possibly, or another room for the dog to roam around, or make the dog a meme. Let him just roam around and be like, here's my dog again. Look at him just roaming around. What are you doing? So cute, or something like that. A shock collar for it to stand still while you stream because your stream is so important doesn't look good, and it's just bad. It's just bad as a whole, because, no, there's just so many other options for you to do besides the shock collar that might not even be that bad, but still. You can do so much better, Hasan.
And we actually did a video where
you have other options.
We had a dog trainer who does this as a career go over the Hasan video, and it's not as bad as people are trying to make it out to be. I'm sorry, it's not. Since
possibly the collar itself, yes, but the reason for the collar, no, it's bad.
So terribly had to repeat it, Suris. Yeah. Said a lot of shock collars are just strong vibrations. Some of them are shock collars. Some of them do produce an electric shock that is bad. A lot of them make things mildly uncomfortable. And I'm sorry, but okay. If it was a shock, the dog would have done more than yelp. Said it's a big dog with ton of fur from what I've seen. Yet, no. I don't have a horse in the race of defending Hasan. I don't like Hasan. Said using poor pearl pumper cement of any variety on your dog to keep in frame on stream is kind of a shitty thing to do.
Exactly. Again, the reason why he has a shock collar is the big deal, really, at the end of the day. Again, you have better options.
Nene Goblin, go watch the video that we actually did where the actual professional who actually does this, actually for his job, actually all the time, goes over the information. I am always going to be the person that says trust experts, trust the people who actually do this as a job, more than your own gut intuition.
Which I agree, generally speaking, 90% of the time, but there is that 10% that I think throughout history has shown that sometimes you can go with your gut and it is the correct thing, or for us Christians, follow the conviction of the Holy Spirit. It will lead you to a better place. Not out of not death, not death to life in heaven, but just in a better place on earth as a whole. For example, I would most likely get parent advice from a parent than someone who might study in parenting in a sense. But when it comes to COVID, I would mainly go to the experts. Obviously. A good way to look at it is, if I'm correct, there are two types of intelligence. Ultimately, there's the academia intelligence, and then there's the experiential intelligence, streetwise, basically. And it's good and healthy to get both, to have both. So for a different example regarding parenting, and I already made a video right there about spanking, I would say we have come to a point where I think there are better ways to handle your child and to discipline them than to spank them. And I think the experts are correct in the effects of spanking and the negative effects thereof, generally speaking. Does that mean every single parent who spanks their child is an abuser? No. But I would say that should be the last tool in your tool chest. This based on the data that we know of. Not the consensus, the data. You should always follow the data, not the consensus. Most of the time. Yeah. But when it comes to some other things, I would not go to the experts of, like, if I was, back in the times of slavery and black people being inferior in the way that it was, at least back then, scientifically accurate, quote unquote, that black people were inferior. I'm glad those who fought against that, both physically in the Civil War and spiritually as a Christian, were like, no, I'm gonna trust the conviction of the Holy Spirit on this one, not what the experts said. Because the experts, at least then, were wrong. I know that might be a conservative talking point, but it is correct sometimes. Now, the problem is the right goes way too far and says don't trust the experts at all, whatsoever, and apparently medicine is demonic, aka Candace Owens. Someone who I think is more crazy than Nux Taku and Roseanne Barr, but they're still both crazies. They're all still crazies, just one is a lot more crazier than the other ones, alright?
And that is where I sit there as well. Expertise trumps gut intuition. I'm sorry, I don't give
Agree. Generally speaking, agree.
a shit. I don't and I can't. I don't have the spoons. I don't have to have the spoons. That said, the going to brothels thing where people have been sex trafficked, you can use that argument for anything. So, I can say that it's immoral for you to go on Pornhub, because Pornhub has a non-zero amount of content on it where people were sex trafficked. It's one of the reasons why they had to scrape a lot of the content away off of Pornhub, because they couldn't verify if people had consented for their content to be on there specifically.
And if I'm correct, there was also allegations of CP on their site, and thank and praise God that they got that out of there as well.
Does that mean that you're a horrible person for going to Pornhub? Well, no. Like, if you don't know, and I'm assuming that he's right. I am assuming that Nux is correct. If you don't know, then I don't hold you anywhere near as culpable as I would if you do know.
True. Which is why I said earlier on in this video that I can see that Hasan Piker did most likely accidentally went to a bad Diddy-esque, or Diddy as a whole, or actual Diddy party. Because apparently he thinks that the best thing to do for his dog is a shock collar. That, again, may not actually harm the dog, but still bad. So yeah, I can see, yeah, he has a track record apparently of just doing stupid stuff.
So, like, I'm sorry, but I don't care about that one either. I don't have spoons to spare for it.
It's all the things all together, and it's like,
And
this is the face of the left.
Absolutely. And the worst part of it is billionaire socialists. As a former socialist, I
highly doubt she was a former socialist, to be honest, and at best you get George Soros, but later on in this video, even George Soros is most likely not a billionaire socialist.
say
Billionaire socialists. Which one? Who's the billionaire socialist? Hold on, real quick. List of billionaires and political affiliations. How many billionaires exist in the world? Top 200 billionaires influencing American politics right now. No, stop asking me to support your shit. stop doing that. I just want to... Okay, fine. I'm not reading your shit. I'm not reading your shit then. Sorry. I'm not doing that. I think it just means Hasan in her head. Yeah, and Hasan's not a billionaire. Like, Hasan's not a billionaire.
I think he is rich, and he might be at least a millionaire, but no, I don't think he's a billionaire.
Like, is even George Soros a billionaire? Hold on.
So the audio should be much better now, but for some weird reason, my VTuber avatar is not working at the moment. Prayfully, you will see it again in this video, in Jesus Christ's mighty name, amen. So, until then, I just had a random picture of, I think it's a Roman emperor or general. I saw a little bit of Roman society then and there, a little bit. So, yeah, let's continue on with the video.
Is even George Soros' net worth, is even he a billionaire? Okay. Net worth of 9.7 billion. There is one, but he's also not a fucking socialist. He's a liberal, and there's a huge difference between those two. Dorita says, I don't think Hasan's a socialist either. Whether or not he is, he's broadly left, and these idiots don't know the difference between a socialist, a communist, or anything else. Like, just, God, this is more exhausting than it should be.
That's true. Either Hasan Piker is more of a socialist influencer in a sense, meaning he is living since he's living in a capitalistic society and country, he's got to do as much as he can do regarding his socialism, I guess you can say, while living in a capitalistic society. I guess. Either that or he's not a socialist. I'm not a socialist, so I can't fully say whether or not he is that or not. But the point still stands, they don't know the difference. They don't know the difference between liberal and socialist. They think anybody from the left of Trump is a socialist, Marxist, demonist, at least for Roseanne Barr. Nux Taku, I have no idea at this point.
And then you said the link is further up. You said it was the main video that's on the channel here. I'm just gonna grab that real quick. Freedom of religion or cultural surrender.
Listen.
Sure, why not? Let's do that. We'll skip ahead to this video here, because I am not listening to an hour of whatever the fuck this is. Orla says there are a few billionaires, as far as I know, that do support some socialist ideas, but none would identify themselves as such. Yeah, there's a difference between is socialist and supports some ideas that are broadly socialist. I said George Lucas would be one of them because he supports a wealth tax. That is Hasan actually the rich one and not his parents? Hasan has money.
Just because it says in the Quran, okay, that you could take sex slaves from Jews and Christians, it doesn't mean they're anti-Semitic, okay?
And it doesn't mean it's rape either.
Yeah,
it
totally.
certainly doesn't mean that's a rape culture.
Are you familiar with the story of Al-Zut?
Wait.
I am familiar with the story of Al-Zut because Aspiring Philosophy keeps talking about the story of the Al-Zuts. Based on what I know of, it's contended if it's an actual historical true hadith, meaning that actually happened, or it's just a made-up story that somebody did, basically. For what I know of, for Aspiring Philosophy and from most of the other Christians that told the Al-Zut story, I think some of them think of it as true. Even if they don't, I think some might use it to just mock Muslims for some reason. There's plenty of other ways to do that, but that's not the point there. The point is, there's that side, and there's the Muslims that interpret it differently, as we'll get into later on about what Nux Taku says, was basically kind of the story of the men of Al-Zut, scenario, situation, event, or just story, made up story, possibly. And you have some atheists. I think there was one atheist that I watched that basically said that no, this was not a real true hadith, meaning that it actually happened in real life. So I guess it just depends. I think it's still contended at the moment.
Are we saying that if a religion says the types of people that you are in fact able to rape, and people try to follow that religion to the letter, that's not a rape culture.
Again, Suris is not understanding the hypocrisy. Again.
Skipping ahead was a bad idea. Skipping ahead made it worse. Skipping ahead made it way worse.
I might be, but refresh.
This is one of my favorite stories in Islamic history. Okay, so it's a very verified hadith, like a story about Muhammad. So Muhammad and his best friend, they ended up traveling to the desert one night. They went into the desert, and Muhammad he drew a circle in the sand, and he told his friend, stay in the circle in the sand. We'll call it the COUGHT circle.
Okay.
All right, stay in the circle in the sand, and do not leave this until morning. So then Muhammad moves forward, and then the men of Al-Zut, who were very virile, sexual, naked black men.
I don't remember the black men part. I think everything else might be true. I don't know why Nux Taku brought in the skin color. Okay.
Rode Muhammad all night until the morning, giving him the strength of 5 men.
So I think for some Muslims, how they interpret it is that Muhammad protected his followers or his soldiers or his men because they were the men of Al-Zut, which, if I'm correct, some Muslims interpret it to be jinn, which is basically the Christian equivalent to demons, and so he rode, meaning that he triumphed over them. He made a display over them. It had the strength of the. What you said, 10 men, 5 men. I'm sorry, but he had strength of. He had remarkable strength, miraculous strength from Allah, most likely, obviously, at least according to some Muslims that tried to maybe twist it, because from what we know of, it does sound like he was having sexual intercourses with these men of Al-Zut, whether real or not. I guess the best way to say is that he didn't discriminate in the bedroom. He did discriminate when it came to laws and what to do with gay people. If I'm correct, he has laws regarding gay people with his Sharia. I think it's called Sharia, not Sharia law. Like Thai T, because you're saying T twice. I think it's the same thing for Sharia, if I'm correct. Just trying to be accurate here, folks. And also, I think the historical sculpture here is getting me to be more of a history buff at the moment. I am a history buff, you know? So, just saying. I think that's how they try to either twist or to, in their sense, interpret it the right way. I really have no skin in the game. I have no dog in this fight of the men of Al-Zut, if it's true or not. I just don't, at the end of the day. But, if it happened, yeah, it's hypocritical. If not, then we should stop talking about it. We can still talk about it. I'm just saying, like, you're saying, like, oh, this is the truth. Like, no, it's not a true thing. Don't just, unless you're making a joke, and then you're like, it actually didn't happen. But man.
You know that story?
No, I don't know that one.
Okay. Let's assume that it's right. Let's assume that it's correct. He had sex with people and had a sexual fetish. I'm also assuming that's not actually a verified hadith. Somebody can correct me on that.
Again, the point is the hypocrisy.
It's been a long time since I've given 2 flying fucks about Islam in any perceivable way. But, like, I'll just assume that it's right. Who cares?
And it's good.
It's a real story. It's a real true. I don't know if it's a true story, but it's one of the hadiths. It's a verified Islamic story.
So you know that hadiths are not automatically verified Islamic stories, right? Like Nux, do you realize that? Like, hadiths are part of a canon in regards to the creation of Islam and the figures in Islam. Not every single hadith is seen as correct and true by every variant of Islam. Like, that's... What? I'm not a fucking Muslim, and I don't know a lot about the religion, but even I know you're being dishonest here.
VTuber me is back, folks. Thank and praise God for that.
Well, I knew that was what's really behind all their male supremacy thing, as it always is
So what about the male supremacy from the Christians?
Michael knows is gay, so yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but I feel like going, yes, this confirms my worldview. No, I didn't know anything about that story. Woman, you're an idiot.
A vile homosexual rape culture, too.
A vile homosexual rape culture.
Unfortunately, that's semi-true. The homosexual part, not really, but the rape culture, unfortunately, yes. If I'm correct, at least historically, I don't know if it happens today. If it does, please stops in Jesus Christ's mighty name, amen, for both of the sexes. But if I'm correct, at least in the 1800s, there was unfortunately some type of, I guess, either ritual or just, unfortunately, a sort of, I guess, pastime. Ugh, I don't like saying it like that, but basically that's kind of what it was. Where basically it seemed like in the Islamic world, basically they had their own version of pederasty, where older men did some bad things to young boys. They didn't just do it to the girls, they did it to the boys as well, unfortunately. Again, it's all ideology, not skin color, not even sometimes religion, but just ideology. It's just, bad. Almost every culture has their barbaric side and their more, I guess you can say, civilized or advanced or better side. Some cultures, not all, but almost most have those two sides, because we're imperfect. We're flawed. We got sin in the world,
Why do you have to put the homosexual part in there? Like, it's already a rape culture at that point? That's already bad? I'm also fairly certain that in Islam, homosexuality is very, very, very frowned upon. So it wouldn't be that either? Okay. Danman says, am I just not listening to two people stroking that? This is all it is! It's just two people stroking each other! And
again, on YouTube, stop it, please.
Painful to listen to.
Before I knew, because I went to those places where women can go who want to talk to Palestinian women, Christian women, and Jewish women in Israel. I went there for that purpose.
Cosmic Cat says, I thought you weren't very keen on Nux Taku. Cosmic Cat, I have a question. At what point during any of the last, how long have I been recording? 22 minutes. Have I even mildly seemed like I'm keen on Nux Taku? When? In any of that time? Anyways, back to the nightmare.
Find out for myself, and to talk to women who live there and have to bear it. And was told that before they throw the gays off the buildings, they have to be mass raped by all the heterosexual men throwing them off.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised if that's unfortunately the case in some, if not most, if not unfortunately all Islamic theocracies.
Okay. Referring to a pre-recorded vid on YouTube. On your YouTube, which video did I say that I was good with Nux? What? Which one of those did I do that? Because, like, if so, I want to find that person who made that video, me, and fucking kill him.
Just to be clear, I don't really get what the chatter was saying, but if it's what I think it is, my somewhat viral, at least regarding to my channel, was considered viral, a video of reacting to Suris' reaction to the Nux Taku nuke video, and if it's that, let's talk about this man to man, man to man, man to man, please. But that was a little bit of a joke, and I get that Suris is joking. Obviously, YouTube, to be clear. All jokes. This is the joke zone, if you will. Alright?
Our Cypher name says, I love citing anecdotes. Sylvie says, hey, Suris, I decided I don't want my ability to hear shit anymore. Here, take it. Like, Okay. None of this makes any sense, but sure.
It's just rape culture on every level.
I mean, there was an imam that was just going viral. One of the people in his community asked the imam if, in honor of Pride Month, I will tell this story.
Oh, no, screw that and screw you, Nux Taku. If you guys don't know if I'm correct, Nux Taku was a massive bigot.
So the person, he went to his imam and he said, "Listen, imam, they
Why does he have a Trump impression? I mean, it might be accurate, but still, why?
have developed a weapon, a explosive device that could be inserted in the anus. And I was wondering if I could have sexual intercourse with other men to widen my anus so I could fit in the explosive device." And the imam responded, "While normally homosexual acts are forbidden by Islam."
So it's not a homosexual rape culture then, because homosexual acts are forbidden by Islam. It's within a minute. It's within a
Again, it's the hypocrisy, Suris. It's the hypocrisy.
minute of the last statement. How do you even do that?
For jihad, we make an exception. This is a true story.
For Christian nationalism, they'll make an exception.
This clip was going really viral. I could show it to you after.
I saw this. It's true.
You saw it?
Cosmic says, I don't remember which vid. You misunderstand the vid in question. You mentioned not liking their channel. I wasn't saying you were keen. I said not keen. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not keen on Nux. I'm not keen on Nux at all. He seems like a person who builds his entire career on trying to be edgy and offensive and not actually bringing any substance to any conversation at all whatsoever. And then gets mad when the purity culture thing that he's starting to actually suggest starts cannibalizing him. Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Alright, so that's been cleared.
Dude's weird.
Oh my god, dude.
All of this is weird.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? What is this podcast? Why? Why does it exist? Why this? Why? 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 Why?
And then we're like I told people here in Texas, do you realize that they're building 85 mosques here in Texas?
Gasp. Brown people gathering together religiously. And what's the problem again? What's the issue? What? Oh no, brown people gathering religiously. What's the problem again?
Who cares? You have Texas is big. 85 mosques. Do you understand how fucking large Texas is, woman? Do you actually understand that? That's a fucking blip on a radar. Who cares? Oh no, somebody from a different religion has access to religious things around me. I'm
Religious freedom? Yes, religious freedom. Again, problem?
so upset now. I have to go make a video about how bad this is for the environment or some shit.
And these were conservative group, and they said,
Yeah, most Islamic people tend to be a little more conservative as well because the religion has not quite been pulled kicking and screaming into the modern day the same way that Christianity has.
If I'm correct, if I were to compare Islam to the stages in Christianity, like the days of Jesus Christ, the early church via in the Book of Acts, the early church fathers, etc., 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 I would say they're in their, I guess, early church fathers age, kinda. I'm not a big, huge expert on Islam when comparing it to Christianity historically via the stages thereof. But I know they're a little bit set back than Christianity because, Christianity is older than Islam by, I think hundreds upon hundreds of years. So,
So, I don't know, ma'am. This is all sounding really stupid.
do have freedom of religion. I mean, they're just.
Do you realize that Greg Abbott, governor of Texas, received the majority of his donations from Islamic backers, mostly Pakistanis?
I don't care about the skin color or religion necessarily even. I care about ideology. And that makes sense. Yeah, I can totally see that. Because if their ideology is similar to Greg Abbott's, like, I don't know, a death machine at the southern border, then yeah, I'm not that surprised. There might be some correlations between certain religious beliefs and ideologies. Yeah.
I do, and I opened my big, fat, nosy, old Jewish lady mouth everywhere I could, because I don't stay silent.
Right. So your problem was that a politician, a bigoted politician, mind you, a bigoted politician happened to get donations from a conservative group. The conservative group just happened to be religious, and it just happens to be a religion that you don't like.
Who are also most likely bigoted as well.
But he's a conservative asshole, and he got donations from other conservative assholes. How is this news?
Breaking news: conservatives funding other conservatives. That's like that. That's not news. That's reality. That breaking on X. Breaking. People with similar views funding each other. Like not big news. Not the big scoop, folks.
How are we confused about what the hell's going on here? Like, what is any of this?
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Listen, when it is pretty weird, and what's pretty weird is that Suris did not clarify what Roseanne Barr was smoking. It's either cigars or the mixture of meth, crack, cocaine, marijuana, and almost everything else besides, except fentanyl, obviously. So yeah, either one thing or multiple things put together. And I think I'm with the former at this point.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, it's
funny,
not.
you know, you get paid.
It's not weird that the conservative politician would get donations from conservatives. It's not fucking weird.
Paid by Muslims, then all of a sudden you open up Islam City. It's pretty funny.
Islam. Texas is big, like Suris said. That wouldn't be Islam City. That's like Islam Park or whatever. Like maybe even Islam Park, like Islam backyardigans. Like what? And even then, it's like what? What?
But they
Open up Islam City? Why does it matter? Like, okay, here's what I don't understand. We make the joke sometimes, right? That like, oh, it's freedom of religion except for the ones you don't like, and it's funny, haha. It's silly as shit, but like, then when they actually do that, when they legitimately do freedom of religion's good except for the religion I don't like, and just like, what? Do you think that somebody's like automatically a fucking like homosexual rapist just because they are a Muslim? Like that doesn't make any sense to anybody else here, right? Like that's not how logic works. That's like saying that every Christian is a bigot. They're not.
I exist. I'm a Christian. I'm not a bigot.
I can't. There's so much stupid resonating from this.
they closed it down, you know.
Yeah.
They've paused it, but it's going to be a long time.
They paused it till after I die.
I think so.
Well,
all right, you got to keep living for us.
Yes, the Islamic horde of normal Muslim people who just want their mosque, that will stop because of the presence of Roseanne Barr. Yes. And the dinosaur did talk to you last night. You say you weren't dreaming. All right, okay, all right.
We do have freedom of religion. It is a touchy subject.
That's what people think, which is called suicidal empathy by...
Suicidal empathy. That's just a stupid term like toxic empathy, because that's not how the word empathy is. Anyways.
said by Dad Sod, right?
Yeah. Yeah. See, freedom of religion is interpreted, I think, in a really fake way. All right.
The fake what? The fake. Goodness.
Yeah. Almost like saying freedom of religion is good except for the religions that I don't like is fake freedom of religion, you goddamn knob.
Freedom of religion actually means is anything behind your skin is yours, right? Your religion, in your mind, who you worship, behind your skin, in your mind, that is free. But freedom of religion isn't, and now I will take sex slaves.
How about this? How about this? How about the enlightened centrist point of view? Freedom of religion is expressing your religion, obviously within reason of other laws. Not either it's just in your mind or you can have sex slaves. No, it's more so of you can express your religion, you have the freedom to do so, just don't do anything illegal. And most people, including Muslims, follow the law. Like I kept saying, the Muslim from Lowe's is not the Islamic horde that's going to come after and rape your little daughters. Specifically your white daughters, because it's all got to be about race, apparently, for some weird reason. No, they're just like you, so stop being weird and crazy and stupid and evil. In Jesus Christ's name, my name, amen.
Yeah, who's taking sex slaves in America?
BDSM people and other people who strive to be doing that, like Christian nationalists and some fundamentalist Muslims, but very few far in between. And one has, unfortunately, more power than the other one, and it's the former. Not the BDSM people, the Christian nationalists.
America, where is that happening? I'm fairly certain there's some weird people in my chat that are actually all for that because they want to be the slaves. They are corrupt, I promise you. But, where...
Point stands. Remember what I said way early on in the video? Yeah.
Is that happening in America? What?
Right, because there are laws in this country. So freedom of religion, originally, the founders meant for different, groups in Christianity, right?
Right.
That was...
And it progressed in a good way.
The original concept. But it evolved to the idea that whatever is skin deep is fine, as long as you obey the laws of the land.
Assimilate.
Yeah.
And most Muslims do that.
Where is that not being adhered to, you dumbass?
That's what it's supposed to be. For example, swearing on a Bible, right? That's one of the laws. And freedom of religion.
It's not a law. It's not a law.
All of a sudden, we have people swearing themselves in on Qurans, which is...
Why... there is no law that says you have to swear in on the Bible, actually. That's not what the law says. You just have to swear in on something that you value to the same extent that somebody who is Christian would value the Bible.
Basically, you can swear in on a particular... I think it has to be a book. I think that is... It has to be a book, if I'm correct. A book that's basically significant to you. If I'm correct, one person swore in on I think, a science textbook, I think. But yeah, that's the actual law. The reason why we have the tradition of the Bible, because that's just kind of how it began, basically. So most people were just swearing on Bibles, but that's not the law. I thank and praise God that it's not, because we have freedom of and from religion. And it's fine, because I want the people in office to be as authentic as possible, and I want to see what they swore in, because I think if that particular book's important to them, then that kind of gives me an idea of how they might govern, or at least that's their personal beliefs. I at least know their personal beliefs. Like Zoran. He is a Muslim through and through, and he's not going to apologize for that, and it's good that he doesn't, because I don't want him to lie and say that he is a Christian or a Jewish person. He's going to swear on something that he doesn't believe in, because I don't want laws to force people into something that they're not via forcefully being Christian, because that's not what being Christian is, and I don't want to forcefully let somebody sin even more, in a sense, by falsely swearing in on something they don't even believe in. It makes no sense, folks. And I just never got Christians that want to do that. Why are you forcing people to lie? Like, lie. I don't understand.
Like, you do not swear in specifically on the Bible. You don't have to swear in specifically on the Bible. That's a gross misunderstanding. What the fuck? Also, okay, I'm gonna be honest.
And to be honest, if that was the law, I would pray that it would change. And I would do everything that I could for it to change, because we have freedom of and from religion. And again, I don't want the government to say you must lie. Especially regarding stuff like the Bible. Like, just as a Christian, as an American, it just doesn't add up. It just, as you can see, it just doesn't add up.
A Muslim swearing in on the Quran. You want to know why? It doesn't fucking matter if they swear in on a book they don't believe in. Why would a Muslim who doesn't believe in the Bible give two flying shits about whether or not they actually adhered to the tenets of what they are going to say?
To clarify, they do kind of believe in the Bible like Mormons do, but if I'm correct, like Mormons, their book, in a sense way, trumps the Bible, or at least, to be charitable, their own book is their primary source of things. While they still might have the Bible, their primary sources are their own books.
They're swearing in on a book they don't give a shit about. And why should they? Why should...
At least for Mormons. For Muslims, I don't know, but I'm assuming they at least respect the Bible. I don't know if they read it like Mormons do, but they at least respect it. They might also read it as well, I don't know.
They give a shit. It's not their religion. It's not their book. You want them. Like, you actually want people to swear in on the on the book that is associated with their religion, more than you want them to swear in on, like, a random bullshit. I'm sorry. This is very dumb.
Pretty huge.
Yeah.
It's
like
huge.
in New York City.
That is just so incredibly wrong. I mean,
everything in your interview was incredibly wrong, so again, half a point. We're not fully there to sanity, but half a point, you know, get in there, kinda. Spoiler alert, I don't think we do, but...
Wrong. The Zoran Mamdani existing? Is that what's wrong? Because that's the only thing I can possibly garner from what you're about to say.
it's just the death of America, which of course is what they want.
The death of America because of what America stands for. Just let that sink in a little bit. What America is supposed to be will be the death of it. And,
I think
it's the death of America that we are able to have a person...
Freedom. It's the death of America because we have freedom. That's like, it's the death of McDonald's because they have fake chicken. Like, come on. To be clear, if I'm correct, McDonald's does have real chicken. I don't think McDonald's is that powerful to sue me, but just in case, bruh, they do actually have real chicken.
In charge.
That we know of. Again, joke.
Who has a different religion than Christian? That's not the death of America, you goddamn fucking moron! Man, I used to get emails. So, like, okay, I used to get emails years ago from people who saw my transformation from a channel that was, like, very, very buried in logic and civility, and people would unsubscribe, send me emails that they were unsubscribing because I was becoming a more insulting person, a more, like, angry person, and, this is why, actually. Like, this kind of shit, having to go through this kind of shit, is the reason that transformation happened. I cannot sit here and be civil. I have to sit here and call the balls and strikes as I see them, and right now, I am seeing two people, and a third onlooker, I guess, that are just fucking morons. I'm gonna call a fucking moron a fucking moron! And that's where we're at.
Yeah. to an extent, I would agree. Sometimes, I would say sometimes, maybe not all the time, but sometimes you gotta just say it. Like it says in Jude. I think it's paraphrasing it. Some you save with kindness, others you snatch out of the fires of hell.
Hey, people think that, well, I do too, that Israel and America are inextricably bound.
They don't have to be.
Yeah, since they don't have to be. And there's video more on Israel as a whole, in my opinion. And I think it's a Christian perspective and also secular perspective as well on that. At least in my earlier days of my channel, I did Christian perspective and secular perspective or non-Christian perspective. I think I did that with that Israel video. I could be wrong. But yes, I think we are bound in some way. Spiritually, I think, yeah, but you don't necessarily have to be. Geopolitically, it's a whole thing. Maybe I said in that video, but I might have to say more later on this channel. But yeah, we don't have to be, but we are, and there's reasons, and it's nuanced at the end of the day.
There's no rule or law or anything that says that needs to be the case at all, but they are bound because there's some dumb fucking politicians that desperately want us to be, and I do not like them or that. That bothers me greatly. I don't want to live in that country or world, but I do.
And people say, oh, they're after Israel because then they'll come for America. But I think they're after America so they can get Israel.
I think it depends. Depending on the situation, they go after America to get to Israel or vice versa. It just kind of depends on the situation. But yes, to an extent, yes, because we are, like it or not, still allies in some way.
What?
I think people do not want genocide happening in the Middle East perpetuated by Israel. Like that's
true. God hates those that shed innocent blood. He did not stutter, and especially regarding Israel. Read the major minor prophets. Come back to me if you're like, Israel can do no wrong. Alright, bud. Okay.
That's what I think, actually, ma'am. Signore dumbfuck. That's what I think. If I'm being perfectly honest.
But I think they're talking about still like places like, or countries. I think they're talking about theocracies like Iran and their leadership, not people who don't like genocide. But I could be wrong at this point. At this point, I think they might be lumping everybody from the theocrats and Hamas to people who just don't want babies being killed because they're stupid that way. It can go either way. It can go either way, ladies and gentlemen. We're in uncharted territory. Either they're just mainly talking about regimes, Islamic regimes, theocratic regimes, Hamas, or they're actually talking about that and lumping those entities with the entities of, we don't want children to die. It's either that or just talking about the side of the dictators. It can go either way at this point.
There are idiots, there are groypers, there are people whose opinions we should not trust. But there are also plenty of people who are well-meaning and not dumb and not assholes who legitimately do not want to see people killed in the Middle East, and that is their reason for disliking Israel full stop, is they do not like the war crimes they commit. Like, that's it. That's where I am. That's my personal take. But apparently that's not enough for some people, I guess. I don't know. It's got to be people are trying to get to Israel, so they got to go through America first. Like, no? Like, it's very hard for me to say a religion is full of itself, but, like, that's kind of what it feels like here. And that feels...
No, you're incorrect, Suris. You've been kind of a little bit incorrect, and I think it's because the stupidity and the dumbness of it all, and the very presence, the mere essence of this interview has made Suris dumber and stupider. It has made terrible takes. At least during this time, I pray he's out of it once he gets out of the interview, reacting to it. Jesus Christ, mighty name, amen. And he's gonna agree with me a little bit.
Stupid. Like, the words leaving my mouth feel like dumb words.
Agree.
They feel very, very incorrect, but then I know who I look who I'm listening to.
What do you think of that? You know what's funny?
Not you.
Not you. Not anymore. Well, listen. You're funny in the sense that we laugh at you, but we don't laugh with you. So you're kind of funny. Again, kind of have a point. Alright, half a point. The half-pointers here. Alright, okay.
Oh, not you. Not you at all, ma'am. Please, skip ahead. No, none of that. I am sponsored by DDLJ Playground, and...
No, sorry, Suris. No, get out of here. No. I'm sponsored by you guys. Those who support me on PayPal or Patreon, links are in the description down below.
Thank you.
Oh, you froze.
You froze.
Oh, sorry.
I froze.
Hey, sorry. I don't know if my internet died or yours. I don't know what happened.
It's fine. Did you? Where did you lose her?
Yeah, you said that Israel and America are inextricably bound, and then you cut off. Sorry.
Yeah, morally and culturally, and in so many ways. And I think that some of them are coming from Israel in order to get to America, and then some of them are coming for America in order to get to Israel. I think it's a one-target deal.
So, you don't think that Israel is doing bad, and you think that people are trying to go for America specifically to get to Israel? There's a level of, like, self-important grandiosity to that I just think is dumb. And maybe I'm the stupid one here. Maybe I am. But this feels like...
A little bit, but you're not in the level of stupid than they are. You're like, I would say, 0.1 stupid in this video. You know, they're... let's see, at least a billion. And maybe, no, 1 million at least. Alright? To be charitable, the lowest is at least 1,000, alright? 100, no, I think they've passed that already, alright?
The whole Donald Trump thing where he tried to say, hey, the reason they want to get to me is because I'm the only thing between them and you. Like, do you remember that shit? It feels like that. It feels like that all over again.
You?
Well, I mean, Iran sees it that way. You know, they say Israel is the small Satan and America is the great Satan. I think that, I guess it depends who you're referring to. I think it's a war on God, all right? And I think that,
I mean, not in the way that he's saying it, but in a sense, yes, it is in the sense of a war on God, or more so of a holy war. I'm going to most likely make a whole entire video about the sort of spiritual forces behind the scenes. Not in a conspiratorial way, but just in a way of, this is what some people believe, and as a Christian, I think believe spiritually this is what's going on. But that's on a later date in the future of this channel.
But how? How is it a war on God? Moreover, how would one even win such a war? Is your God that weak? Is that...
No. Wars can be fought even if your opponent is stronger than you, or vice versa. Like Exhibit A through Z religiously, the spiritual war of spiritual wars, God versus Satan. Like, obviously one's going to win in the end, and it's a God, but there's still a fight. Which is a war. The spiritual war.
What's going on? Like, how? What?
And you're a former Christian, Suris. You should know this.
America has biblical...
Point 2 now, I guess. Well, goodness.
values that founded it, and...
Nah, maybe just... Never mind. Now just point 1, because now Nux Taku's being a little bit... He's bounced off the point 2 for Source, and now it's back to point 1 for Surface. But in a sense, yes, there's biblical values, but it's more culture, not what Nux Taku thinks, you know.
So did, all of Western civilization, basically, which is why it's basically the arch nemesis of the world, right?
What? No, I'm fairly certain it's the imperialism. I'm like...
It's a mixture of both. Depending on the situation, it might be a little bit more of the imperialism, it might be a little bit more of the somewhat Christian values, kind of, but not everything in the West is a Christian value. Just gotta be discerned, and not everything in the West, in all of its values, are good, even by a Christian, or even just perspective of anybody, just a generality. Not like I said, I think I said civilization, or I said culture, or idea. I think I said culture or civilization, whichever, both, depending on the culture and civilization, obviously. You have your barbarism side, and you have more civilized side of it, or advanced or better side of it. Same thing for the West.
99% certain it's the...
I think we're seeing the barbarism a little bit now with Trump,
Imperialism.
And other countries, to an extent.
I don't feel like I'm incorrect.
But it seems like mainly America, because I'm in America.
On that one, I feel like the reason people tend to not be really big on America is the hyper-capitalism and the imperialism. Just correct me if I'm wrong, but... So the large portion of the world is Christian? No? Yeah... No, it's the whole self-important...
For some reason, it just keeps going off briefly. It stops that. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Don't worry, I'll come back, and just screw it, do it live. But if I'm correct, the majority in the world is not necessarily Christian, at least in the West, most likely. But around the world, I would actually say no, I don't think that's necessarily true.
Grandiosity thing. I don't get it. I don't. Yeah, what the fuck? I agree with Dadman. What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean the reason that people are... What do you mean the reason that people are anti-American is because they're anti-Christian? This just feels like the thing that every conservative ever desperately tries to pretend is real and true. So it's a justification for continued imperialism? Yeah, it is. It is that, amongst other confusing things. This is so hard to get through.
Did you ever read George Washington's letter to the Jewish people?
I did not.
I'm going to put that up sometime. Yeah, because, it was Chaim Solomon who financed the Revolutionary War. And
that I knew.
It was George Washington's letter of thanks to him and the Jewish people.
Secretary he says, wonder how they would feel about trillionaires who beg to be invited to pedo parties or billionaire traffickers. Ah, yes, Trump and Elon, my favorites. I feel like
I'm back, and I'm back.
Dumber listening to this.
Unfortunately, I think that is true. Unfortunately. Again, 0.1, still 0.1 though, maybe 0.2.5, 0.1.5. We've been having a lot of half points, so, you know what? I'm gonna give him a mulligan. I'm gonna give him a point. I'm gonna give him a point and a half of stupidity for Suris, alright? I'm feeling generous, alright?
Helping to birth this nation. And George Washington was inspired by the story of Hanukkah the night he crossed the, what was it, Jake?
Delaware.
The Delaware.
Roseanne Barr did not know that George Washington,
And
How do you simultaneously be this weird-ass American patriotism, good and important and best thing ever person, and the concept of George Washington crossing the Delaware is the thing that you forget? What? How? I'm sorry. How? I'm so... Man, not even confused. Depressed. That's the one.
I don't think I'm depressed. I'm just disappointed.
This makes me depresso. I need espresso. I am depresso.
So America is founded with a lot of love of Torah and Christianity too, but I don't.
Yes, it's the good old Judeo-Christian values-isms. We never really get to avoid those, do we?
Want to separate those two things, and
I mean, historically speaking, Judaism and Christianity was fully separate religions after the destruction of the Second Temple, 70 CE. Before then, even you'll see in the New Testament text, Christianity was a sect of Judaism until the destruction of the temple in 70 CE, where there was some major different beliefs, obviously. And so, I mean, I don't think people are trying to separate them. I think they've been separate ever since that. I mean, that's just fact. Just saying.
I think they really want to separate those two things.
Yep.
And they want some new religion.
What?
UN Agenda 30, the one world religion is a high.
Which one is it? Is it the Alex Jones globalists that are actually Jewish, that are bad, and so they want the one world religion? Or is it the anti-Jewish people who are also anti-Christian, who just happen to be Muslim, who want the one world religion? Or is it the Christians who...
More accurately, is it the Christian nationalists that want the Seven Mountains Mandate, or as I call it, the Seven Heads Mandate? I want to control the world. Which one is it?
who actively, like, in their actual text, say that there should only be one fucking religion? Like, which one is it? Which one of the... Because you can't be both. It can't be all of them. It can't be. Can we read a book or do some brain puzzles for the next segment? I feel like I need to balance out the neurons I've lost. My neurons are just not doing so hot right now either. I'm not gonna lie. It's not even Alex Jones shit. It's like sub-Alex Jones shit. It's like pretending to have the intellectual power of Alex Jones, which is not a high bar, mind you, and then also failing. Sometimes it's pointless to shift through a pile of shit of any substance. Yeah, I feel that, because that's kind of where this is feeling. It feels like sifting through a pile of shit, and none of it has any substance. There's nothing here. There's nothing here at all, other than just like
I said, as you can see, it just doesn't add up.
A very, very confusing and confused set of individuals that have mapped the entire world around specifically their religion and how important their religion is to, like, the foundation of the world. Marco says, and just to think, there are people who chain chug this shit every day.
You know, I don't really try to think about that. In fact, I deliberately don't think about that. The world is too sad and depressing and dark enough. I don't need even more sad, dark, and depressing things, alright?
I could not. Again, I feel like I am actively becoming dumber as I listen to this.
Unfortunately, yes. But don't worry, Suris, I think I think you're fine afterwards, you know? You just gotta get a palate cleanser of something smart. Read a history book or something. Go for a walk. Touch some grass. Anything.
And I feel like that's not healthy. I feel like none of the words I just said are healthy. Memory Mars says, I feel like I'm researching that documentary, or whatever the fuck they called it, from a couple years ago, so they want to feel persecuted against their god. Yeah, I'm gonna get through it's one more minute. It's one more minute of the video. I can do this.
Hybrid religion.
Also, yeah, who the fuck is they?
Called Chrislam. And
Chrislam. Are there people that are like, yeah, Christianity, Islam, they're kind of the same thing? A minority, yes. They're like two people. Chrislam. Uh, the sense has left the building. What?
Chrislam? Chrislam? What? What? Who? What? Nope. Nope. Drywall. I'm gonna go fucking chug it. I'm done. Nope. No more. No more. I can't.
Now, before I was thinking of making this video, I was actually going to make another video about me reacting to Mike Ringer's reaction to the worst anti-trans argument ever, in my opinion, but I just could not pass this up. But if nothing else happens, that should be the next video after this one, so see you guys there. Hey, real quick, if you want to dedicate your life to Christ, aka get saved, or if you're a backslider and want to rededicate your life to Christ, or if you want the baptism of the Holy Spirit with the evidence of speaking with tongues, those prayers are in the description down below.